Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 15 Quarterfinals. It's just me again. It was supposed to be a Randy here, but unfortunately real life got in the way for Randy, so you're going to be seeing a lot of me in these recorded games, but that's okay, because you love me. Better. Princess Gang and the Riki Blinders. To say the least, there is a clear underdog in this matchup, unfortunately. See how it goes for them. Princess Gang, for the second week, with this particular, not really this particular configuration, because even with their new permanent pause 1, Chief Sage Coco, they did have to get a stand in here as well, because nothing can go right for Hollywood this season. I mean, nothing at all. Princess, using all of his knowledge of having formerly captained Dusty, to ban the Visage. Fortunately, it ain't Dusty picking these guys, is it? So, maybe we wouldn't be seeing the Visage in either case in this case. Interesting ban on AA there from Riki Blinders. Perhaps it's targeted at their stand-in, or perhaps the Blinders are about to start with, okay, banned out the IO immediately. We're not thinking about that. If they were thinking about that IO Witch Doctor funny business, which, to be frank, didn't go well week 1. That's gone now. Started out with the first pick Clockwork. It's certainly been looking like Hopeless's signature hero. And speaking of signatures, immediately coming out with a Mirana in response. Treon Protector, no big surprise here. It is interesting to see, you know, you're going to be seeing Copeless and Hollywood on two heroes that have a lot more similarities than differences, not in terms of literally their kit, you know, or design, but in sort of the general impact they have on the game. They're guys who don't really excel in lane, but can lane with anybody. They're guys who are going to have that point at one guy and eliminate factor. Guys who have a special sort of gimmick they can bring to a team fight. In a lot of ways, they are similar. So, be interesting to see how that goes down. Of course, you got the Broodmother coming out as well, because he wants to be able to climb into the cogs and eat people.
10 seconds
Actually, if Clockwork gets Jetpack, we can very easily end up in the funny scenario where Clockwork hooks somebody, puts them in cog jail, Jetpack's out, or Force Dashes out if he wants to be a cheapo about it, and then Broodmother just walks in and starts eating them, which is kind of interesting to me. Though, of course, that might be a little more risky in this current everybody is going to be funny and buy Meme Hammer scenario, but who knows? Might not see that on PG. DP getting KO'd by the Riki Blinders here. No big surprise. You probably don't want to really... I mean, I think the Death Prophet can... Not the Death Prophet. The Broodmother could probably just eat through the Death Prophet, but, like, if you don't want to deal with some annoying pushing... Okay, I don't think the Mars is probably ever worth banning unless you're picking, like, one hero, and even then, maybe just let it through and deal with it. But, you know.
10 seconds
Phantom Lancer down on the other side.
5 seconds remaining.
Not going to see any White Joel Birch Phantom Lancer gameplay today.
Dire team ban.
No Alchemist. Boy, that guy sure got popular fast here. All it took was one price nerf to Radiance. So I guess the price lowering for Radiance. Can't really call it a buff or a nerf when you're not a Radiance yourself, can you?
5 seconds remaining.
They did nerf it slightly. Which I don't know if enough people are perhaps giving enough credit, but not enough that I would be sweating it usually.
Radiant team ban.
No Void Spirit. Jopa, like a lot of the mids in this season, is no stranger to the spirity type heroes. You'll see a lot of Jopa playing heroes with that as their last names. You'll see some Jopas on guys with blanks as well, on your Quaps, for example, on your Pucks. That's not a true blink, but, you know, that sort of thing, right? You'll see Jopa mostly on that sort of brand of hero. So if you don't want to see one in a game and you ban it out, then you're doing yourself a lot of good. It's going to be a comfort ban, and it's going to be a ban that's going to be good for your team. I don't know if I want to see a Void Spirit define
10
Brewmother or
seconds
Clock, so it's
remaining.
probably not badly founded.
5 seconds
I don't
remaining.
understand the Wraith King ban. That's a little
Dire
interesting.
team pick.
I don't understand the Treant Tidehunter combo. Okay. PG wants me to flame today. Oh, not a fan of
10
that.
seconds
Just
remaining. Dire
two
team
heroes
pick.
that are just very redundant towards each other here. Gonna get met with a Lich. Riki Blinders is saying, oh, if you're gonna be dropping the double teamfight stun on us, we'll just make you miserable while it's
5
happening.
seconds remaining.
Unfortunately for him, the Frost Armor so far isn't going to mean anything because they don't have any real physical damage on the team. And the Tidehunter is going to break through what you do get anyway, but you know how it goes. Well, likely. All I'm saying is if I'm Princess Gang,
Radiant team pick.
then I'm going to be facing Juggernaut this game. Okay, well that's a little regretful. So,
10
a
seconds
well-timed spin and a well-timed Mantis style
remaining.
can already do a hell of a lot, and he just got the crap buffed out of him because Ice Frog just hates to see Juggernaut go below 100% PB. And I don't know if Pango's your guy. I don't know if Pango's your guy, Nijuk. I don't know. In fact, I feel like that's an incredibly bad matchup. The thing I was going to say before the Jug came on the board was get somebody who likes doing a lot of physical damage a lot, and, you know, get yourself the Solar Crest, get yourself Desos, right? Just go all in on just being able to just completely eliminate somebody from existence in that very short time period. And Pangolier would fit the bill perfectly if he didn't get countered so heavily by the Juggernaut in particular. Also, I believe bounces off of the Clockwork Cogs, which means if he puts it in an awkward spot, he can basically immediately ruin your ult.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I don't get that one necessarily. We'll see how it plays out. Bloodseeker is gone. I mean, just to make things even worse for the pork bastard, that would be just a senseless tragedy. Ursa knocked out on the other side. Ursa's somebody who could definitely take advantage, and Spectre as well, of a very high damage-oriented, armor break-oriented team. Of course, you still got heroes like your high alpha damage guys like your Sven in the pool that can do some nasty business here.
5 seconds.
Sven in particular is probably the pick in my head, at least before Riki Blinders picks last year. He's going to have high damage to really make that armor break shine, and those single target Fakaktas that Mirana is going to be bringing down shine. It's going to be somebody who's going to be able to stand up to the Jug ult with that armor buff. And somebody who's going to have some ways to deal with the support line.
Radiant team pick.
Just coming out for Riki Blinders. It does dampen the appeal of the Sven a little bit there. And I make the BKB a little bit more necessary. He can't tank through that very easily. He's high armor. Even if he was high HP, Zeus likes his percentages, so, you know. Kind of a lose-lose there, actually, with the Zeus magic damage, because if you know, you gotta have just some magic resistance. You really want to just get, like, a pipe, or, you know, just have your BKB on 24/7 somehow. There you go. And Sven is not a guy who can deal with that easily, and, you know, Tide could build a pipe, but he probably doesn't want to.
Anti-mage.
Do I like Anti-Mage here? I think I do. I think I actually do like this Anti-Mage quite a lot. It's going to be able to blink out of Clockwork Jail, somebody who really doesn't care what Zeus has in the slightest. It should be okay against the Juggernaut, but, I mean, it doesn't take terribly long for this Anti-Mage to get wiped off the face of the earth if things go kind of badly in a fight. If Anti-Mage gets looked at by the Lich and Juggernaut just ults on top of him, goodbye Anti-Mage. If somebody builds Orchid and slaps it on Anti-Mage before the counterspell comes off, and they're able to just Omni without the blink coming out, goodbye Anti-Mage. But that is, you know, scenarios you have to set up. It's things you have to do.
He's gone.
It's not just going to be out of the box like that. And that lich stun is going to be quite a hot property, as this team is not exactly teaming with them, to say the least. The other team is teaming with stuns, but unfortunately you've got the Mirana arrow stun, which is not the most reliable one in the world, an ult, an ult, and an ult, so you know. At least Tide has that weird little tentacle thing now with his shards. He can't use that if nothing else. For a guy who's so willing to call the brood mothers of others a grief,
Wait for it.
does not look. Oh,
He's gone.
Prepare for
he's gone.
There's a fine line between bravery
Oh
and
my
stupidity.
god. Unlucky, I guess.
This can't be good.
Everybody's missing. I don't know where anybody is.
I'll be back to finish this later.
Mighty Midget posting BM in all chat. And my directed camera is on for some reason. That's nice. And my pause is now necessary, but no longer. Luckily, we have the powers of fast forwarding to help. Oh, he didn't move. Well, crap. That was the easiest arrow in Hollywood's life. I can already hear his very loud peaking mic over the comms just watching that. It's 3 for 1 for runes. As this chapstick fellow, standing in on Princess Gang, wins the right-click contest and against Copeless. And since Chapstick is going to be like 1k, that means Copeless, who right now is dangerously close to 4k, just lost a right-click contest to a 1k player, which really tells you how washed the guy really is. We're doing lane swaps here. Okay. Well, on the Princess Gang, you're gonna have to just believe me when I say this, but for Princess Gang, doing our roll call. Pause 1, you've got replacing poor Moon River full-time, whose internet had a tragic outage. You've got Coco the Sage on the Anti-Mage. He had to pick a rhyme for, I believe, his second game for this team. The first game being the infamous series where Boss stole everybody's money and ran away. On the Anti-Mage. Pause 2, you've got the wrong lane. Pause 2, you've got Jopa on the Pangolier. Who is gonna probably, if nothing else, at least have a good lane against Zeus. Pause 3, you've got, I almost said captain of the team, he's not really. Princess on the Tidehunter. Pause 4, you've got Hollywood, actual captain of the team, on the Mirana. And pause 5, you've got Chapstick, standing in for S-Culture 3, who is currently 6 feet under.
Face it.
On the other hand, on the Riki Blinders, pause 1, you've got the White Joel Birch on the Juggernaut. Pause 2, you've got Warcarp on the Zeus. Pause 3, you've got Dusty in Hell. Pause 4, you've got Clockwork being played by Copeless. And pause 5, you've got the Mighty Midget, who's trying to expand his repertoire to 2 heroes this game. By the way, White Joel Birch is the captain of this team, though you wouldn't know it from his many absences. Okay, tell me. Okay, I really thought I thought Dusty was still dead and Princess has died of creeps here, but instead, Princess dies of Copeless getting to play Clockwork. Seems like a very dangerous thing to let happen. You know, so to be blunt, Copeless has been a little hit or miss with some of the heroes that he's been on this season, but he has never once failed on this Clockwork. It's interesting. Last time Tittleson won a season, that was also the case. Oh, sorry. Last time White Joel Birch won a season, that was also the case. I didn't want to say the name of the person who did it, but there we go, I guess. So far, despite Joel getting first blood, last hits have been in favor of the Princess Gang for the most part. Joel himself is doing well, doing better than Anti-Mage, who's laning against him and the position against him in rare form, like we're casting a League game. But, on the other hand, he is trailing the Pangolier and trailing the Tidehunter. This should at least in theory be a pretty easy lane for Tidehunter. Outside of the occasional random spill to the Clockwork just dropping on him, which you're just going to have to kind of accept to some degree, I think. But, you know, if Tidehunter gets like 2 points of Kraken Shell, then he almost fears nothing in this lane. This is almost a sad time to be a hero with that inbuilt damage block, because a Crimson Guard builder on this lineup, like if you're somebody who can just do Crimson Guard and Greaves, like a Centaur War Runner, or like a why is some funny combat music playing, or like a Pit Lord or something, this is an awesome game for you actually. Especially since if you're already building auras, what's a pipe too, right? Just get Zeus pretty much out of the game. Tidehunter at the very least is going to be able to personally tank through a lot of what this team has to offer. I don't think Jug, well, he is no threat to Jug at all, almost. On the other hand, Jug doesn't really do anything to him either. He can very easily operate on the rest of the team, while Jug is, you know, the only person who doesn't care about him. Hollywood currently standing at 0% success rate on actually getting... This is interesting. Princess going to buy his Ring of Health here. And as predicted, you kind of have Dusty, who is able to just walk into the cogs and just eat him. Ouch! Probably wasn't worth it. Also, meanwhile, Anti-Mage just randomly died at top, just to make this lane swap super not worth it. I gotta say, the lane swap, looking at it, I really didn't understand why it had happened. But I was thinking, well, at least if Anti-Mage doesn't do too bad, at least if, what happened? Can we see an instant replay of this? Why are we tipping this man? I bet I can assume. Oh, because he just queued nothing. Got it. There we go. That explains a lot. But, as I was saying, the thing I was thinking was, well, if Anti-Mage at least presents well in this lane against the Jug Lich, then everything should be probably okay in the end. Anti-Mage just randomly taking a spill to Juggernaut is probably not good. Probably not good. He's behind Jug, and now he's got a death on him. But Dusty... Oof, 0% success rate with those Hollywood arrows. Dusty getting kind of beat up here. This lane definitely is going to turn against him more as time goes on. Chapstick. He's fine, yeah. Actually, Joel might be the one in danger here.
I face precious by fate.
They do get the revenge kill on him. Looking good. And Hollywood TP'd in for this. It's been unfortunate for Hollywood that he had literally no reason to actually come up here. The Anti-Mage was going to get that kill just fine, but... That is good. If Anti-Mage had that spill and didn't get any recompense, it was already going to look very hard for them to do anything this game. Seems that they're willing to make this a tri-lane up here now. Isn't that outlandish a prospect? Like, you want Anti-Mage to win this lane, you want Juggernaut to lose his lane. It's really as simple as it gets. Tidehunter can just solo. Even in crappy lanes, sometimes Tidehunter is just going to be able to just stay there and be okay, so this is fine. Speaking of this is fine, Joel thinks it's just fine to just hit Q. Just go crazy there. We actually have World Lightning there that's not only going to... help get a kill on the trio, but it's actually going to reveal the Pangolier is down here. Ooh, Joel riding the lightning in almost a very literal level, but ultimately the Pangolier does go down thanks to rotation up here by Carp. You know, some Zeus's at mid see a scenario happening and they're like, I'll throw my World Lightning at it, it'll be fine. And the actual initial World Lightning did do, like, good there. Said I should probably get intervene, and his actual presence did tip that, so good on Cart for that one. Anyway, now Princess is gonna get tipped by everybody on the blinders. It's an interesting scenario to be in, that while the Riki blinders are down for last hits, in some cases quite considerably, Broodmother 20 last hits down compared to the Tidehunter, they actually do enjoy a small net worth lead, largely owing to both Copeless getting 2 kills of his own and shooting up the support charts as a result, and for White Joel Birch being right now in a solid lead as far as the net worth goes, being marginally above the mids, which, you know, he's in fairness, he's not that far ahead again of the Pangolier, but on the other hand, what in the name of God is Pangolier gonna even do in this game? He didn't even really win mid that much. Like he has more net worth than Zeus. But this should have been a lane where Zeus got absolutely creamed, I feel like, and that didn't really happen, which is interesting to me. And Prince is just gonna randomly die the second I look away from the lane. Which ain't great. Anti-Mage is kind of behind. Broodmother was also kind of behind, but just taking spills like that is gonna let her catch up. The Equilibrium not favoring you taking dives like that. But then, I mean, you're facing this Clockwork, and tied into Clockwork ain't the best. Got a lot of small, repeated magic damage hits. And Tidehunter, of course, is going to go for the Meteor Hammer, because that's going to be really easy to actually do against a team with a Zeus and a Clockwork on it. I can definitely foresee a lot of not... Okay, Jopa back here. They're looking for the Mighty Midget. Joel's actually doing good by his supports and is trying to save the Mighty Midget. Oh my god, that first Lich ult is insane! Holy crap! The Mighty Midget does go down, but I bet he has nothing to be ashamed of after that. Wow. 3 dead for a pause 5. This isn't working, as a wise man once said. This isn't working. And Tree's gonna randomly go down bot. He's gone. This is, This is 2 game starts what the Hindenburg was to Zeppelin Aviation for the Princess gang here. They really... Something's gotta give. Something's gotta change. They gotta get something here, or this is gonna be an absolute unmitigated disaster. And we skipped way too hard ahead here, and missed a few interesting things. I believe a G was set here, so let's see what goes down. I bet I could probably guess. Yep, Anti-Mage just takes a look at him. Jug actually gonna go for a kill here, and is actually gonna tear down Hollywood before just kind of randomly dying himself. That was probably not worth it. It might be if Anti-Mage randomly dies for it, but I got this funny feeling... Okay, actually no, he is going to go down. That's still, I think, a net positive for Anti-Mage. Yeah, walked away with 400 gold. More than he was in there with, and he got all the XP. Well, it's the female Anti-Mage, but either way, Anti-Mage came out on top for that trade, though not by a lot since he immediately died for it. And being down is probably going to suck a little bit more for him than it does for Joel, who can just, you know, come right back in with his Maelstrom and get back to work. Blinders are got to be really confused at the point of this lane swap at this point. It's not gone well for the Anti-Mage, who even with that exchange, that wasn't in his favor. He did end up at the bottom of the course, net worth-wise. Broodmother is saying, hell with trying to play fair in this lane. I'm just going to cut the wave over and over and bonk this tower with my face. Old Copeless is not far. They're going to look at Jopa here. Jopa is not going to say hello to him. He's not even going to write him a letter. Oh, Broodmother's gonna get a courier. This is the most exciting part of the whole game. Broodmother's probably not gonna get a courier. Broodmother is instead probably going to get the person that the courier is being called to. Cobless! Cobless knows! He just killed a book. Alright? That's why you think about those couriers, Randy. He just killed a book. And now he's gonna kill a big stupid watermelon. Interestingly, denied the cog there. I guess just to give Princess a chance? Not much of a chance that the World Lightning's gonna come down on him, though. World Lightning also revealed these guys up here at top. Certainly this Zeus is gonna be a constant headache for these rotations that Jopa and Hollywood are gonna be wanting to make in this game. Not just in lane phase, but just the movements in general. These are two heroes who like to have these sorts of covert, map-wide maneuvers. Don't want to get caught. Don't like you having vision, don't like you know where they are. Zeus kills your vision, helps his own, and of course is just randomly going to hit a button that reveals where you are sometimes. Not exactly what you want to see. Tricon here is in a very interesting spot. Getting chased around by the Broodmother inside of the trees. He did actually get dust on the Tidehunter, but it fell off. So I'm not really sure exactly what that that ult was about. They have rotated everybody on Princess Gang to this lane, and are going to get to initiate on that creep now. Just kidding, they're going to get nobody while Wild Joel Birch just eats this T1 for free. So he's actually walked down here and decided, nope, this isn't worth my time, and just went right back to mid. That was a pretty... I used to do a pretty good Zeus, but that was not one of them. At least in my opinion, I do. Joel just gonna knock out top T1. Oh my god, of course.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Why Joel Birch gonna knock out top T1 and basically just completely leave the stain of victory on this top lane. I mean, it didn't even come close for poor Coco the Sage. And the guy's playing at a pretty heavy MMR disparity anyway, so I can't really blame him too much. Dusty getting out of the way of the hook shot there. Coco tries to deny himself in the camp there, in the creep camp, does not get it done. Very good work here by these two. You know, I said before and I'll say it again. And this is probably the strongest offlane in this season, and perhaps unusually for it. It's probably not because of the pause 3, and I think Dusty would probably tell you that himself. He's not bad on a pause 3 metric by any level, that much is for sure. But Copeless brings something to this offlane that I don't know if a lot of LD2O players really do, which is why he's not going to be in this offlane again for another season. This is his Dogtown endeavor, I guess. This is his Dogtown season. Actually reminds me of him quite a bit, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Tidehunter has decided that he actually does want to lane against this jug after all, and then has decided against it. I guess the idea is that Tidehunter can basically not lane into the jug like at all, which is probably not terribly wrong. Probably Tidehunter's biggest weakness as a pause 3 is there's a lot of heroes in this game that against which Tidehunter is really almost nobody. And speaking of almost nobody, Coco the Sage wishes that he was just some nobody rather than the pause 1 on this team, so they wouldn't just keep going in on him all the time. Chopa's gonna defend his mid T1 by just rolling on it. Without the Juggernaut actually physically present. With the Clockwork rather far, they don't have much to go on that. They drop Lich Ult to try and keep the Broodmother alive. It does not work. It does take a lot to get rid of that Broodmother, but it doesn't take quite as much to get rid of the Mighty Midget. What do you know? Princess actually got to drop a hammer, just didn't kill anybody. Still, getting the kill on Jopa did even things out a bit, even if the cold changes disproportionately in Radiant's favor there. Joel, meanwhile, is working on this mid T2. Or this top T2, rather. They're gonna start TPing on him. Hollywood inexplicably is not just gonna arrow him from the trees, I guess because that's undignified and unmanly. So Joel's just gonna spend TP to mid and just go right back to work.
Dire are scanning.
Bangalier's gonna show up to deal with this, and I'm a little surprised that Jug is giving him any credence as a threat, because this is like the guy in the game who can deal with him the absolute least. Jug has his Yasha, I believe, is pulling his courier to Secret Shop to finish out a Mantis style. And we have the Omni Slash on Joba, and it just tears him to shreds. Joba's gonna get the midget, but that's all he's gonna get. Hollywood is going to try and attract Roche's ire. Unfortunately, White Joel Burge is gonna cut him in half, and Clockwork's gonna eat his courier. Riki Blinders sitting on an 8k gold advantage with nearly a 3-to-1 kill ratio. Brewmother with a set of Greaves. IK, what on earth just happened? Oh no, bro, my teammates tried to do an ancient camp and lost!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yikes.
He's gone.
He is
Bottom
gone.
tower has fallen.
This is not... this is not...
Tower is under attack.
This is not making Coco the Sage look like the be-all end-all anti-mage player, I must say. Very unfortunate game for him. Just close your eyes, grit your teeth, and remember that Joel probably has a nearly 2k MMR lead on him at this point.
Dire's
And it'll all be fine.
denied.
God, gamer detected.
You can get through a lot more in Dota if you live in a constant state of denial. And right now, maybe... huh?
Arms for the dead.
Midget? What am I looking at? It's the thing people do now, does that technically work or something? That'd be funny. Apparently not, Bubsy, because he put one of them away. Yeah, they just both have the same, yeah. It's just being weird. Another set of kills here at mid. Knock down the Tidehunter, knock down the Pangolier, and find the Riki Blinders walking right into the Roche pit. If you were born on July 25th, this Roche is your lucky Roche. Unless you're from the UK, in which case you have to be born on the 25th day, or the 25th month, which I don't think you can do that, at least not in this calendar, so you will have no lucky Roches if you're from there.
Roshan has fallen to the damage.
Juggernaut takes the Aegis, because he was so easy to kill before. And this isn't a bad Aegis, Jug is not immortal. And sometimes in LD2L we have these situations where it's like, somebody who has not gone under half health the entire game randomly takes Aegis. Jug has died,
Under attack.
so it makes far more sense for him to take it here. And Zeus looking for Mirana in the trees up here and finding her. Cutting waves against a team with a Zeus, maybe not the most ideal play. Jug does have his shard here. Actually, his Manta Maelstrom shard. Which, I mean, he's sitting on almost double anti-mage's net worth at this point, so you shouldn't be surprised. Joel is not going to look kindly upon your Meteor Hammer shenanigans, and neither is Copeless, who's just going to immediately put Tidehunter in jail, force him to panic, and ult. Joel actually is going to go down first life here, though. Is it a panic ult if it actually works out? Is it an Omni Slash that somehow has perfect vision of that team?
Dire's bottom tower
Because of that sentry there. Very well placed sentry. Nobody actually died on Dire, I didn't even realize that! I was like, okay, well that's the end of the support. Nope. They just knocked out the Aegis on Jug. Which at this point is genuinely probably worth losing the two supports. going to take care of affairs up at top with his bees of tea. Jug is going to get disarmed over and over and curse Ice Frog for adding the 0 to the game, even though he probably didn't do that. And mid T2 we'll get to stay alive for another day. Well, T2 was not so fortunate, but you know, these things happen. Chug looking at a butterfly. Anti-Mage is kind of creeping back up these net worth charts, so he's had some time unattended. And while he's not the level of the big guy on Riki Blinders quite yet, he is getting a little close to the rest of the lineup, so... And this is a pretty good anti-mage game. If he starts to climb back up, if he puts himself on top, he might be kind of hard to get rid of. Speaking of getting rid of him, that is exactly what the Riki Blinders seek to do at this moment. It'd be really funny if Copelis just randomly had a Mindbreaker or something, but no such luck. They're going to abandon the go on the anti-mage to get rid of the Hollywood instead. Zeus just randomly ulted right now? That'd be very funny. Oh, he did randomly ult, but unfortunately Anti-Mage had completed... No. Yeah, he completed the Ancient Gap by that point. All it feels like these two supports can do on the Hollywood team is just die. Not a great day to be these two. I mean, no big surprises there. This is a very hungry for your support type lineup. The Clockwork, the Brood, the Juggernaut. If you're a if you're a support, if you're living in that world and you're a support, you're not where you want to be in life, I don't think. Joel is done pretending that this is a competitive game and now seeks to go for T3 out by himself here, and is also just going to ult poor Jopa in the middle of his own, but the Juggled actually comes down at a very awkward spot here. Probably really did not want to be there, but it's okay. He's 15k net worth. So they're just gonna trade Brood for 2 of the enemies instead of Joel. Mighty Mage gonna actually come out up here. And Mighty Midget is going to oh, he Q himself, that's what he did. For a second I was like, what the hell did he do? He is going to die the second after putting Frost Armor down. Treon Protector, of course, just accepts his... Okay, why Anti-Mage? Why? Thanks, says Dusty. Thanking Anti-Mage for just randomly dying for no reason in front of him. All members of the Princess Gang dead in front of this T3. Hollywood watching Dusty walk all over him has to be giving him some PTSD flashbacks to Season 14. He wanted to get the flashbacks where he came into a match a pretty dramatic underdog and then just randomly 2-0'd it, instead of the one where he comes into the match the underdog and is at a 15k net worth disadvantage at 25 minutes, looking at a Juggernaut who is getting dangerously close to 1v5ing already. This is an awkward place for... Oh, okay, he's just gonna take that creep. Awkward place for Joel to... Huh? Huh? Coco okay? Joel has been just riding the lightning for such a long time, he wouldn't even put his W down. He refuses to do it for religious reasons. I mean, if he was the non-white Joel Burge, then maybe, but you know, there's certain things that, you know, it's like a cultural, you're overstepping your boundaries as the white Joel Burge if you do something like that, right? Just can't do that anymore.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There is no hand in anger until it parts.
It's that weird Brood ability. The old spinner snare. Joel is just going to break the T. Well, Princess now knows what it's like to be me. Princess, like, that was me last time. I like that better. Oh, Anti-Mage in a very awkward spot. Anti-Mage very dead to the World Lightning. Jopa trying his damnedest to do something, anything here, but the damage gap is just so extreme. All he finds is death. This is
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
this is all over but the crying, I believe, for the Princess Gang. Here's the good news: if this ends very quickly, I'm going to be very happy because I was expecting a set of 4-hour-long games minimum, maybe 6 to do, and this has saved me from it. So thank you, Riki Blinders. Very cool.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
2 lanes of racks now gone.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
If Randy was back, I'd ask for a time of death, but unfortunately he's not with us today. Yeah, he's not dead. That sounded worse. Okay, Jopa just gets annihilated in 1 second flat. Hollywood getting just completely creamed. Clockwork enjoying the no more charges on the bongo boots thing, which I really gotta question why that was ever a thing to begin with. Princess is going to eat like an entire Omni Slash, but still die at the end, even with Joel in the fountain. I really like how he hit the Hood of Defiance right at the end there, just in case Jug's right click somehow became magic all of a sudden. Princess calls the G's, and in a pleasant surprise, we're going home early today.
Dire victory.
Jeez. That was exactly what it looked like, folks. I wish I could say that there was some great big thing for not Riki Blinders, for the Hollywood team, but I mean, they picked a really not so great draft. They did some not so great strategic moves, and it paid out for them like this. Feels like whenever Hollywood gets pushed into a corner, he always tries to pull something out of a hat. Princess as well. They're very very conscious, I think, about going into matches as underdogs and trying to pull out on top. And this is definitely one of those games where I think maybe they got a little too experimental, trying to say, what can we do to turn it around? Princess says meme meta, Hollywood says lane swap, and as they say, you bowl a 7-10 split, you go right down the middle. This was let's see what happens in game 2.